What is going on, everyone? Thanks for entering the Lobby of Hobbies. I'm Jazz, and today we're taking a look at a small little card game from Nerdlab Games. This one is Mindbug. This is co-designed by a team, and hopefully I'm pronouncing their names right. This is Christian Kudahl, Skaff Elias, Marvin Hegen, and this last designer is known for games like Bunny Kingdom, King of Tokyo, Android Netrunner, and a small little card game, you may have heard of it before. This is Magic the Gathering and designer Richard Garfield. Now, this game is currently on Kickstarter, but this is not a preview of this game. I'm going to be giving you my full honest review. While it is on Kickstarter, this is a full production copy. There was a small limited print run of the first printing that was done at Essen Spiel this year, but the Kickstarter is, I guess, for world distribution of this game. And again, what you see here, I'm going to be giving you my review. It's not a paid review, paid preview. This is my honest opinion. I wasn't paid for any of this content. Again, take it with a grain of salt because, again, this is just my opinion on what I think of this game. So without further ado, let's get into it. Mindbug is a dueling style card game where players are battling it out back and forth, attacking and defending with creatures, utilizing those creatures' abilities, all while trying to eliminate their opponent's health down to 0. But unlike Magic and Yugioh and other dueling style card games, there is no deck building element that needs to be done prior to the game. There is no card drafting that needs to be done. To set up the game, players are going to take the deck of cards that are in this box. They're going to remove the 4 Mindbug cards, and each player will receive 2 Mindbugs. They're going to take the remaining deck, they're going to shuffle those cards up and deal 10 to each player. Of their 10 cards, those players are going to shuffle those 10 cards and draw 5 into their hand. Now, on your turn, you have one of 2 options. You can play a creature from your hand and utilize any when played effects, or you can attack with any creatures that you have played out into the battlefield previously. Now, when you play a card, this is where the game gets interesting. Your opponent can choose one of 2 things: allow you to play that card, or they can spend one of their 2 Mindbugs to take that card into their possession, play it immediately as though the card was played from their hand. So instead of you getting that when played effect of that creature, they get the when played effect instead. So be mindful on, no pun intended, on how you play your cards, but also you have to be mindful on how you Mindbug your cards, because you only have 2 Mindbugs to spend throughout the game. Now, let's get to attacking and defending. If you choose to attack on your turn, your opponent gets to choose one of their creatures in their play area to block with. Now, when attacking and defending, creatures will look at the power value in the top left corner, examine those power values, and whichever creature has the higher power value, that creature will stay in the field and the other one will go to the discard pile. Players are going to, trigger any effects that are on the card, dependent on if there's a when attacks ability or when a card is destroyed ability or goes to the discard pile. They will examine those and do those as such. Now, many of these creatures have various keyword abilities, and let's go over some of those right now. The first one is Frenzy. Now, when a creature with Frenzy attacks and survives its first attack, it gets a chance to attack a second time. The second is Hunter. Now, when a creature with Hunter attacks, it gets to choose which of the opposing creatures has to block it. The third keyword ability is Poisonous. Now, when a creature with Poisonous attacks and deals damage to any other creature, the creature it dealt damage to will automatically get discarded regardless of that creature's power value. The next is Sneaky. Now, when a creature with Sneaky attacks, it can only be blocked by another creature with Sneaky. Now, there's also the Tough ability, which means instead of the card being defeated, it's exhausted. So pretty much this card has to be defeated twice before getting discarded. All right, so let me tell you what I think of Mindbug, and if you can't already tell, I really, really like this game. If you are a fan of dueling card games, this is one you need to check out, because the layers of strategy with how simple the card play is and streamlined the card play is, man, these mind bugs. Like, the something about, you know, the mind games you can play, no pun intended, with your opponent, where I'm gonna play this card to make you use your last mind bug because I really want to play this card next. Those layers of strategy really, really are cool. The card abilities on some of these creatures, where I can play this one to steal a card from your hand or steal a card from your discard pile. I can play this card that allows me to draw my entire discard pile into my hand. But you only start the game with 10 creatures, and that's all you're ever going to have unless you're stealing cards from your opponent with the creatures you have. But the other layer of strategy is anytime a card leaves your hand and you have less than 5 cards, you have to draw back up. So I can play this card to make you discard so that you have to draw. And I want to play this other card to make you discard so that you have to draw again. And if you have no more cards to draw, you cannot shuffle your discard pile into a new draw deck. So those are other little small layers of strategy that the more and more you play this game, you find out, and you really, really get to enjoy it. The quickness of this game, I can play it in 15 to 20 minutes. You can play it with people who are new to these dueling card games. And if you're like me and you struggle with deck building and trying to figure out what type of deck you're going to build and creatures you're going to add to it, this eliminates all of that and you can get right down into the gameplay. But that also can lead to some limitations. Now, I know some people like the ability to craft what they want to do in their deck, and if you're looking for that and that's what you enjoy, this may not be for you. But honestly, I think anybody who enjoys those type of dueling card games at least needs to check this one out. What about first player turn advantage? I know that's a big thing that comes up a lot. Well, first player turn advantage can lead to things because there is that luck of the draw and which 10 cards you were dealt to play the game with. But that also leads into a layer of strategy, because now how are you going to manage those 10 cards that you have and potentially win? So man, this is one you need to check out. I was completely surprised. After reading the rulebook, I was like, is that all there is to this game? But the layers of strategy in this one is good. These Mindbug cards, I love it. Can't say enough of good things about this. Definitely check this one out. Link down in the description to the Kickstarter page if you want to back this or wait till it comes to retail, whatever the case may be. But I want to thank you guys for stopping through, checking out the content here. If you enjoy the content, give a thumbs up, give that like button. But if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way you can be notified anytime I drop new content. But I want to thank you guys for stopping through, and I'll see you on the next one.